Well, today we have a Turboant. I was just here recently. I changed the front tire, and then the back tire just popped. So what we're gonna do, we're making it tubeless. I'm over this shit. So this, we're gonna do some bead sealer, this and that. This tire should work. I've done it many times. We're just gonna throw in a valve stem and say forget this inner tube. So I'm gonna take this apart, and then we will proceed with showing you how that's done. So we have a few things here. We have to heat this up because there's a screw behind here. I don't think there's another screw behind here. I don't feel anything. It seems solid. So maybe this is just a one mounting screw, which is insane, but it could be. I'm gonna heat gun it up for a sec, and then we'll see here if I can get this loose here. You need to find out too, it's like kind of like a raised metal behind there. Heat, blow dry or something, and then you can take it off better. I might remake these stickers because I have the sticker pattern and I have a bunch of bulk sticker stuff. But looks like there's one screw, and sure enough, it's stupid as it comes. It's a Phillips. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Most scooters don't use Phillips, so yeah, see, there's still another mounting screw somewhere. It's probably behind here. Well, let's find out. Nope. So it's not behind there. Like, I had to check because a lot of instructions on these things. So, kind of dumbfounded right now. Do they want me to remove this light? Huh. Usually it's just pops off. Wow. Get to see me in confusion. Because I can see mounting screws and stuff behind this, but there's no screw. I took out the one, so I'm gonna have to go look this up. So we need to remove this one sticker, heat gun, blow dryer. So we'll remove this trapezoid. I might redo these stickers because I have the same reflective material. So it's one Phillips screw. I think I already removed it before because I did, yeah, when I was trying to figure this out. So once you remove that screw, obviously it's Phillips, you have to remove this back light. So it's kind of stupid because I was trying to figure this out. They have two more Phillips screws behind here. Most of the time people use 3mm hex for everything. This is not. So we will have to remove this. All right, make sure you don't lose any screws. Don't break the plastic piece. So here we are again. I could have used an electric screw gun, but I don't know, try to be careful. All right, hooray. Now the piece comes off, obviously wire, be careful. I mean, you could remove the screws, hang it. I'm gonna set up on the deck. And then we're gonna do the other side, but we won't show that. But what we'll do real quick, since we're on this side, is remove the brake caliper. couple spacers. Don't forget that. I put this brake caliper on so I won't really forget. Alright, we're just going to take out the hardware, make it a little easier. It's going to be set off to the side, not as worried. Alright, then we're going to remove the wheel here in a second. Alright, well, it's going to be 18 mil. Let's see how easy this comes out. Wow. For the power ratchet, it just takes it off. That was not torqued really tight. Oh gosh. I mean, it's just from the factory. Alright. Alright, let's try not to have it fall off the stand. Change its center of gravity. Alright, now I got it off. Can't remember what side had the spacers on and what didn't. So there's one on this side, two on the other. You know, I might leave them on there. Well, one's falling off and one's kind of jammed, so I'll just have to remember that two goes on one side and that was the side of the rotor. But now we're going to show you how to make it tubeless. Okay, a few things we're going to need. Obviously use the tire, get tubeless if you can. Zip ties, put it on. Tire spoons will help. Bead lube is some of my favorite stuff when things get difficult in these small tires. So we're going to remove this. I mean, you can remove the rotor if you think you're going to bend it or something. I might replace this for the customer just on goodwill because it looks pretty worn. But we will see what I end up doing. Oh, it's in here. You know, you just kind of work your way around it. You know, eventually it'll pop. As you can see, I'm like epically failing here, so we gotta place more tire spoons around it. And then like that. And the inner tube too, we're fighting that right now. I'm just trying to get over one lip. Alright, because now I gotta fight the inner tube because they get twisted in there and stuff. So since just got my handle it. Yeah, these inner tubes. Alright, so then we have to put new valves in. We got them on our website, but they sell them all over. They usually come with a tubeless tire when you buy it. We're gonna do a straight valve through here. I'm gonna put a little bit of bead lube. Usually works better for me when I do it that way. Otherwise I end up damaging it sometimes. You literally just kind of pull it through. And see how it just snapped in. Turn it, make sure it's circled, make sure it's sealed. And then we're gonna wipe off the bead lube, which I had a shop right over here. I just do the bead lube because it's peace of mind. Because we're gonna use Bead Sealer on the rest, and then bead lube yet, but this bead lube wipes up pretty easy. Doesn't seem to have too much issues. So it's made by the same company that does the other stuff. So we have directional tires. Obviously, you want the direction to go with arrows. There's usually a little thing here that tells you to. Okay, we'll see if this is difficult to get on. See, popped on. Okay, we have the right direction. I always double check because I've put them on wrong a bunch of times. I can get away with smaller zip ties on this one, but you crush it, small zip tie. And this is what's going to help us get this to go seat. You know, I'm going to try to seat it on there, and then I'll do bead sealer if I told the customer, and that's just extra security because it's a smaller rim and we live in a state where temperatures change a lot. All right, so more zip ties you have, the easier it is. I have a little bit more experience, so I don't need as many sometimes. But what it does is it allows it to pinch into here. So as you work your way around the tire, you can get it in. So I always like put one here, make sure it's popped in. All right, it's hard to show this and film this. It's easier to do this on a workbench, but you see how now we have like just the lip there just about? And that's what I was talking about, where how we stretch it over, and since we side crush the tire, it'll go on. You know, tubeless are a little bit nicer to install because when you do this with tubed, you will wreck the inner tube. And then once you wreck the inner tube, obviously it's game over. So I always try to make these tubeless if I can. I'm sick of these small inner tubes and how often they pop. They're crap. Come on. All right. Pull the zip ties. So you're going to need to adjust the bead some, which means stretching it up a little and pulling out that little wrinkle that we put in from crushing it. You know, so kind of work your way around, see if it's matching up. There's like a line. I have no idea what's going to happen here. And then see how it's sealed. So I'm going to put bead sealer on because it always gives me just peace of mind. I'm not hearing anything leaking, but I'm going to do bead sealer here and show you that if anyone's ever interested. So just before we showed you how we got the tire on, so bead sealer is kind of messy. I have a shop towel. I try to wear gloves when I do this. But all we're doing is just basically painting the bead with this rubber compound. We'll clean up the mess after. And it seals in between that and the rim. And what it does, it makes it so that less air leaks out over time when the tire fluctuates and fills imperfections in the rim, the tire. You know, if the bead wasn't manufactured 100% super perfect, this will help a lot. So just doing this for the customer so that way there's a little bit more durability. I'm really happy that the tubeless tire worked. You gotta make sure you can't have a split rim, you know, or any of that. So that's one side down. I did the hard side first. And it's, like I said, it's a little messy. Especially as I'm trying to film this and do this. Doesn't take a lot either. I mean, you can be kind of generous in some spots, but you don't really have to be. It's pretty. You just got to paint it on kind of like you paint paint. And I put a little extra on because then it fills in imperfections, but from what the instructions say and experience, I've really never had to put too much on. I always use this on hyper scooters. All right, all over my hands. You know, you should probably wear a mask when you do this. I'm not. Alright. Alright. The tire's supposed to be at 50 psi anyways. Alright, we're going to clean it up. And it's a good way too. The reason why I like bead sealer is now we can check to see if it's leaking from the rim anywhere. Because if it does, this bead sealer will bubble right around these little things and you'll see bubbles. So let's get this cleaned up and then we'll do a little inspection. That's another reason actually why I like it. Especially when I'm converting a tire, because it's going to tell me if it's leaking air anywhere on the bead, and then it helps me narrow it down if it was really like a bad valve stem, because sometimes I put the valve stems in, they're in really tight spots and it hits the bead of the tire and then it doesn't work. But so we can see here and on this side, all right, I don't know if you can see this, but right here we would see little air bubbles and they would pop up. Okay, if it was leaking from the bead. You always want to use a brand new tire too, because otherwise, you know, I've converted tubeless, but you'll see little air bubbles popping up here, you know, and I don't see any on this side. And that we're gonna let it sit overnight, like I told the customer. I always like to sit here a day or two to analyze it, just in case if there's a leak. I've even had micro cracks in the rim, and then it was leaking air, or one of these little stubby things right here was caught inside the tire. So I always gotta look for those, because these little things, when they manufacture, they get caught in between the rim and that, and then they cause a slow micro leak. You know, I've seen that with the little manufacturing things, so watch out for that. But yeah, that's how you do it. So we showed how to, you know, putting it back on. It's just the same way we reassembled it. I mean, I'll show that part just to show it, but it's pretty easy. But yeah, look at that, tubeless, more durable. And then we're gonna put some armadillos in there, and then it's gonna be more indestructible. Like, super happy, because it doesn't always work out this way, but it did today. open some windows like I should have did in the beginning, so the lighting sucks. I'm sorry. Remember, 2 washers on one side, not the rotor side. Then this seriously just went up in here like this. If it goes up, I always hate this because it's always some like tight thing, because a lot of it requires you to bend the metal, like flex it some, like this. I wish I would have brought a pliers. Oh, I got the needle nose, that'll help. But yeah, adjusting this is a nightmare. Oh, let's see what happens when I pull this open. Shit. Wow. Looks like we don't need a rubber mallet. I'm not really a big fan of this. But the axle also too, one needs to be lined up, but let me see something. Oh, see? Did it right away. So sometimes it's just a little bit of force. I don't know how they had these. I think they had them downward. I didn't pay much attention. But they were so loose, but we'll put down thread locker. These weren't even Loctiting. I mean, nylon locking threads. So. Snug. A little snug. No, we don't gotta worry, but they got Loctite on it. Hopefully this thing holds air overnight. I think it's going to, because I didn't see any leaks. And then obviously we'll put the brakes back on. Won't really show you that, but obviously this goes back on. So there's a couple screws. Oh, you can hear those cars outside. And that bead sealer is strong. Be careful around that stuff. I can't believe this is all this work required to remove that. And then there's another screw. Actually, I think it was a little bigger. It is. So. So you don't forget, but yeah, this is a ton of fun. I probably might speed this part up because I don't think anyone wants to watch this. But yeah, so like I said, you replace the sticker, put the brakes back on. I'm gonna cut new stickers because I can make the customer's scooter look nicer. It is a scooter store. Professionalism, right? It's like working in my garage or something. So I'm gonna do that, put the last screw in, and then we will go from there. So any questions, comments, just ask. But like I said, making this tubeless, so much more durable, much better scooter. Yeah, so it's a Turboant. Is there an 8-inch model? I don't even know. Who knows? But I'll put it in the description. Thanks for watching.